Multicultural Career Counseling Model for Ethnic Women by Siobhan Muhammad. Background history of multicultural career counseling. The concept of multicultural counseling was based on the Adlerian therapeutic approach to counseling based on his social theory that people are motivated by social influence and that environment plays a huge role in individual development. Zonker's 2006 documents the start of multicultural career counseling as beginning in 1990. He suggests that stage 6 is viewed as a time of changing demographic and signals the beginning of multicultural career counseling, along with the continued development of technology in the way of multicultural career development. Within the past 35 years, a dramatic shift has occurred in multiracial, multi-ethnic, and multi-language groups. Title VII of Civil Rights Act of 1964 marked a change in the way that the counseling field would address diversity. Chicano and Asian American clients were documented as being heavily underrepresented. Among them were 50% of black population. Chicano rated as 42% and whites rated as 30%. Blacks were the only group who received differential treatment, more often becoming inpatient and less often provided group and marital therapy. Stressors faced by multi-ethnic, multiracial groups. Biological stress. This could include any disease factors that are higher among certain groups in our population. Blacks tend to be higher in high blood pressure, strokes, diabetes, and almost all of the disease elements that are in our society due to several oppressive and internalized cultural factors. Physical stress on the body. Psychological stressors, of course, is indicated by the high level of psychological issues that a lot of minorities are facing due to social stress. Family stressors and pressures. Social stressors and cultural stressors. Diversity within cultural groups. Counselors need to be sensitive to variations within a culture. Categorizing all Hispanic groups as Mexicans or all Asians, Oriental people, Chinese really need not to be taken for granted. Differences among people need to be properly respected. Central, Middle Eastern ethnic groups share similarities in culture and traditions, but they also have many differences, including language. Arabic, Persian, Farsi, Iraqi, and Armenian, as well as differences in religion. Disabilities are of a crucial nature in the multicultural career counseling field. Disabilities such as ADD and ADHD have become very prevalent among minority groups in America, along with learning disabilities. These could affect clients' ability to set career goals and to follow up on their commitments. Many may even have unrealistic career goals, thus not considering their disability as a factor in deciding their career path. Demographics. It is valuable to understand how economic variables influence people's lives who live in particular demographics. Limited government funding is sent to certain areas to improve employment and educational opportunities. Many who grow up living in neighborhoods that are poor suffer physical and emotional traumas. Demographics could also limit career choices and could contribute to perceived limited career possibilities. Gender stereotypes. Many of the traditional roles that men and women played relative to the workplace have expanded in scope. Family relationships could become strained due to career choices that may be non-traditional. Businesses may be less prone to hiring women and more prone to hiring men, or vice versa. Traditional religions and cultures have great resistance to adjusting their views of what is and is not appropriate for men and women. Societies, families, cultures, and ethnicities are greatly influenced by gender stereotypes. Sexual identity is an issue today when the LGBT community is attempting to gain validity and respect for being LGBT. And that family and social issues may be of great concern to this group. Family counseling could be key in assisting this group in making a smooth transition. Many face confusion as to how to resolve their religious and fundamental beliefs in order to be in accord with social mandates on the issue of sexual orientation and sexual identity. The counseling community has expanded and altered its previous labeling and diagnosis of LGBT community to no longer be considered mental disorder. Cultural identification, forced and agreed upon assimilation, social oppression, and acculturation has created a mixture of cultures that have created a kind of cultural obscurity for some groups in America. Some, such as Black Americans, have a culture designed from a culture of brutality and abuse. Blacks mirror the mental projections that were forced on them by white America, and they consider their attempted accommodations resulting internalized contempt as culture. This is an example of the way in which cultural identification has a grave impact on culture and American society. Their safety and livelihood depended on their levels of acculturation in America. Many ethnic and cultural groups find themselves at odds with their indigenous cultures in lieu of the majority population's culture. Often individuals do what is necessary to culturally identify in order to achieve career and social success. Language. Language is a very important determinant of identity for many people. Dialect further represents a person's cultural and ethnic identity. Demographic trends in the U.S. and globalization within the economy has demanded multi-language abilities in the workforce. Now, clients that may have grown up in context that discouraged the use of their native language are now encouraged. Current market forces are transforming multilingual abilities into added value. The key constructs of the theory. Multicultural career counseling highlights the need to explicate the interplay between individual and systematic levels of cultural influences and to provide direction for career counseling interventions. The multicultural career counseling model's goal is to increase recognition of cultural influences on career development, to expand theoretical and practical perspectives in order to increase the cultural validity of career development practices, to expand ongoing relationships between elements of the subgroup of the system, and the changes that occur over time as a result of these continual interactions. Useful applications in today's diverse society. Appropriate uses in applications of multicultural career counseling would be to assist individuals in gaining greater respect and regard for diversity. This model is designed to create a more cohesive and inclusive counseling environment that could provide for the facilitation of career counseling needs. It could also assist in the creation of more culturally appropriate assessment techniques, assist those assimilating into society so that they have greater ease with the process, and could assist clients to identify generational, social, cultural, ethnic, and gender barriers to their career success. This model is designed to assist counselors to expand their client support networks to include indigenous helpers and alternative counseling procedures not previously thought of. Step 1. Establishing rapport and culturally appropriate relationships. Discuss different worldviews between you. Acknowledge racial differences. Discuss feelings about racial differences. Recognize cultural cues, nonverbal actions, and reactions. Establish a collaborative relationship. Demonstrate respect and appreciation of differences. Listen and observe. Identifying career issues. Focus on cultural variables that influence career development. Identify barriers that could impede careers decisions, and understand that cultures share a common set of experience of oppression that could limit their perspective of the future. Identify limiting experiences, whether based in faulty thinking, socially induced experiences, culture, social or family induced experiences. Step 3. Assessing the impact of cultural variables. According to Zonker's 2006, consideration of determining impact of cultural variables are collectivist and individualist views of the future. These views have proven to be prominent in the decision-making process for multicultural clients. Clients' career decisions are greatly shaped by ethnic, environmental, religious, and cultural historical factors. Step 4. Setting counseling goals. Factors of goal setting for successful goal setting are inclusive of getting a collaborative agreement from the client to commit to the goals that they set. Negotiation of activities through the career counseling process. Client's agreement to fully participate in procedures or options. Life circumstances that determine goal direction. Counselor-client relationship. Determining whether the client needs temporary or long-term employment at the time. Discovering whether clients are searching for temporary employment while preparing for long-term career. Clients' needs for family approval. Clients' collectivist or individual views of the future. Step 5. Making culturally appropriate counseling interventions. Group interventions are suggested for families who are struggling with English. An interpreter should be available to facilitate group meetings, and groups should consist of the same racial, biracial, ethnic, or gender groups. These individuals do best in group interventions, locating individuals who have been empowered to make decisions would assist the process. Make decisions. Multi-barriers that inhibit the decision process should be considered during the client decision-making process. Some decisions are made to please the counselor. In this case, the client is encouraged to recycle and the model without embarrassment. The client is encouraged to review steps previously taken in the career development process. This suggests a legitimate request to continue counseling. Implementation and follow-up. Counselors should be aware of various worldviews. Counselors should fully understand his or her racial identity. The counselor-client relationship should be a collaborative one that is a working negotiation, and consensus should be sought. The role of the family and the decision-making process should be emphasized. Worldview, history of clients, local socio-political issues, and stereotypes should be fully discussed. Previously agreed upon methods of achieving goals may need to be altered to meet newly devised ones once follow-up is achieved. Multiple life roles, age, learning, cognitive emotional disabilities, and social restraints must all be factors in deciding on career choice. They could directly affect the client's ability to implement and follow up on career objectives. According to Patterson, 1994, members of ethnic group, assessing the impact of cultural variables. According to Patterson, 1994, members of ethnic minority group are neither users of traditional psychotherapy nor purveyors of psychotherapy in anything like their proportion in the societal population. Patterson notes that the pattern of usage should not be confused with the levels of need or help seeking for emotional problems. In general, ethnic minorities experience a higher proportion of poverty and social distress, typically regarded as antecedents of psychiatric and psychological disorders than whites. Yet, in spite of the preponderance of these evidence in their lives, ethnic minorities are often underserved by high-quality mental health resources. Assessing the impact of cultural variables. Zonkers mentioned the impact of such cultural variables and concerns need immediate attention while counseling cultural diverse groups. These are their use of language and the way that they communicate verbally and non-verbally as a cultural group, their basic skill needs levels, poor adjustment to dominant culture's values, collectivist worldview, cultural shock, lack of job skills, difficulty with assimilating into their new lifestyle, restrictive emotional levels and how they may be applicable to differing cultures, effects of discrimination and oppression, how the individual relates to others as a result of various levels of acculturation. Emotional problems. Different clients may be ashamed or proud of their cultures. Many may wish to remain separate from their own ethnic groups, while others may choose to reject mainstream culture. Some may choose to adopt the values of the majority culture while maintaining a hold on other values from their indigenous culture. Social restraints faced by multicultural clients: educational levels, skills and training, organizational limits and minority advancement, economic limitations, communication concerns, access to service, demographics. My personal critique of multicultural career counseling model for ethnic women. My personal critique of multicultural career counseling model for ethnic women is that I believe that in order to promote a large agenda designed to meet the needs of ethnic women, there needs to be a clear separation of issues and related concerns from that of white women. Multicultural career counseling for ethnic women need to address both racial and gender discrimination that has occurred in part by white women due to the fact that white women are considered to now be a disadvantaged group in society. The proposal of multicultural career counseling for ethnic women presents its own unique challenge for America. Advocating for career counseling for Black women may add additional concerns due to the cultural, racial, and gender biases that exist within their own social group. This model does not address the issues of Black women and racial bias, nor does it touch any of the cultural issues that Black people have in America. In terms of example, I forgot while reading it that it had anything to do with women at all. It simply applied multicultural career counseling methods that could be utilized for all members of oppressed groups, and omits the distinction in most of the reading. I find that this model is relevant for me, being a minority in America and a career development sense. There are proven methods and techniques that I feel could be beneficial to anyone. I could successfully apply the methods and techniques in order to collaboratively assist clients, and I could use them to guide myself into greater understanding and to the reasons for my own career choice. Supported research. I was able to locate a host of supported research documents in order to provide substantial support for the multicultural career model. However, they all mirror the information gathered on multicultural counseling in general. No information was located on multicultural career counseling for ethnic women. Here is my reference sheet. It consists of career counseling, a holistic approach, multicultural counseling from diversity to universality, multicultural career counseling strategies.